alongside Yushka Saju and Pierce Allen. Marc could not be on the show today, but in place of him, Alec McKissick is back on the show for the first time in about a year. And last time you were on, Alec, you were on for a collab mock draft that you, me, and Ayush did.
Oh my gosh.
We were. Oh, is it a tech game?
No, I remember the mock.
Oh. Yeah, so last time you were on, we did that, and we were actually going to do a mock draft today, and it was going to be all four of us alongside Marc and a couple, I think one other guest we had, but we did have a little bit of a change of plans. So what we're going to do is do that on Monday, as it stands right now. We're going to do that on Monday, and Alec is going to be along with us for a show today centralized around team needs of all of the 32 teams. We're going to fly through those today, and that'll actually hopefully set us up a little bit better for the mock draft that we'll do Monday. Give us a little bit more of a skeleton, kind of a baseline for what each of these all 32 of these teams are going to need to do come draft day. So I think this is going to be a good kind of insightful episode on that front. So, oh, good. The video's going. I was worried it wouldn't. But yeah, we have a lot to discuss today. So we'll dive into that in 1 second, actually, because first off, two birthdays on the pod today. Ayush's birthday was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So happy birthday, Ayush. I just wanted to throw that out there. And then the other birthday is actually the podcast itself, bro. We got a year since the War Room started. Actually, a year and 5 days. So,
really?
Yeah, I know. It's yeah. So, yeah, but we're going to just dive straight into the conversation right after the introduction. Okay, so do we want to? Okay, and I guess let's set the rules here a little bit. With the conversation that we're going to do, we're basically going to go through each team. I think do we want to pick like 3 areas of needs per team, like specific positions, or do we want to do a different number?
I found with 3 specific needs, stuff like that.
Okay. 3. Let's do 3 specific needs. And I think what we're going to do is just have an open discussion instead of going around in a circle. So we're all going to try and contribute to the best of our knowledge. We're going to pull up depth charts to be able to view as reference. Our lads, by the way, that's the way to go, people. No debate there. Our lads rocks. And we're going to have that discussion.
Not sponsored.
So do we? Yeah, not a sponsor. Do we want to go alphabetical order, or do we want to go like division by division? Don't all speak at once.
By division.
All right, let's go by division. Let's start off with, what do we want to start? An NFC North. All right, we'll start off with your team, Ayush. I'm gonna also pull up a note sheet so that we can have these written down for reference. Yeah. So what do we think are the primary needs that the Green Bay Packers need to address come draft day?
For me, it's probably edge and corner are probably 2 of the biggest. Just because Jair is probably on the way out, likely. And then if Jair's gone, Keyshawn Nixon is going to be our number 1 corner, which I don't really like having a return specialist as our number 1 corner. So I think I think it's an underrated group of corners in this draft. It's not like the greatest, but there's some pretty solid guys that can contribute. I think if we drafted them, um, and then Ed, I was thinking edge. It's like an interesting kind of thing for me because I think the Packers are at a point where we've really gotten the youth that we want to get. We really went into this youth movement the past couple of seasons. Um, and me personally, I felt like we should have tried to do a little bit more in free agency to get a couple more veteran pieces in like different positions throughout the board. But we only signed like three really. But um, I think edge would be an interesting one for the draft because both of our edge rushers are still young. Our top two guys, Gary and Van Ness, is probably gonna be the number two this upcoming season. But if Van Ness doesn't really take that jump that I think he should have taken this past season, honestly, um, then it's going to be really tough to get a lot of pressure to opposing teams' quarterbacks. So I think getting one more guy in the edge rusher department because Enigbari, I think, is really underrated. He has some really solid moments, but um, I think if we get one more guy to maybe put some pressure on some of the top dogs to make them perform better, I think that would be pretty cool.
What do you think about the potential of drafting a wide receiver early? Is that because I know you guys have the quote unquote stacked room in terms of depth, but it feels like something that really hindered Jordan Love's development last year was his lack of a true standout number one type of target. Because I feel like currently Jaden Reed is the closest to that. I think Reed though is a really solid two on a typical team. However, and where are y'all picking? 25 ish, right? I feel like that's right. 25.
25,
Um,
I think. I could
20,
be wrong. Maybe
23.
23.
It's somewhere in that range. So you're looking at
Yeah,
the
something
potential
like
of like a Matthew Golden type guy. You're looking at the
Would Golden
maybe
be
a
better
Luther
than
Burden.
would Golden or any of those guys be better than Reed, like off the rip though?
Uh,
Like if you take
I
the
don't.
third or fourth receiver off the board at best, are any of those guys
Yeah,
guaranteed to be the day
I
one
think
number one?
Luther would. I don't
Luther
know
would.
about you. You got a point with Golden though, because Golden even his all of his draft stock right now is a reflection of the second half of his final season at in college. So he's not someone that's been a proven type of guy that you can kind of guarantee there's a baseline. So that is a good point though, because if you're trying to draft a guy that early and you're in the situation that you are, you're kind of drafting for a wide receiver who can play now in order to immediately impact Jordan Love. Yeah, Ayush, I just want to. I know that's been thrown out there by the media at times, but I want to see from your perspective as a Green Bay Packers fan, what your thought process is on the concept of potentially drafting a wide receiver early.
Me personally, I don't really like drafting one early this season. I'm not against it. Maybe in day two. I just think there's better options or more important options out there for us in day one that we should go for. It'll be interesting because the draft is also in Green Bay. I don't know how much of a factor that plays into who our pick would be, but um, yeah, I mean, I really think the way to go for the wide receiver room is to get a veteran receiver. There's plenty out there. I mean, we got McCole Hardman. That's not the one guy I was really hoping to get. Um, but I mean, you still got like guys like Tyler Lockett out there, um, Keenan Allen, those type of guys that I feel like would be a good piece to have, especially with Christian Watson likely out until maybe like December ish.
Yeah.
Then because you really only got Reed, Dobbs, and Hardman now as your top three guys. So I think adding one of these veteran receivers in free agency is probably a better way to go, and then maybe take a Higgins or a Royals in day two of the draft, who have kind of these, they're kind of have like these their specialty in terms of like their niche of being a wide receiver, and so um, yeah, I don't really like the idea of drafting a wide receiver early this year. Maybe in past years I would have liked one, but this year I don't think it's the year to take a receiver.
So just to continue to pick your brain a little bit, what if who's so in your mind, who's the second best receiver in this class? So Tet, and then unless you are a little lower on Tet,
Burden.
Burden. What if
I think Tet's
Burden's
one, Burden's two.
yeah,
Over
if
Mika?
if Burden is sitting there, and I agree with you, Burden is my number two. And that's I guess excluding Hunter because Hunter's actually probably my number two at receiver.
Yeah.
If Burden is sitting there at I want to say 23. I don't know why I don't know this, but if Burden's sitting there, would you're not drafting him?
I mean, it depends on who else is there, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but I mean, if there's, I can't even think of a name, but if there's a guy that is a more position of need for us, then I'd rather get the corner for
Okay.
sure. Like
Gotcha.
the Jihad Baron or someone like that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if Burden's best available, then I wouldn't be necessarily against it. But if we take, I don't know, like Jackson Dart, then that's a problem.
Yeah. Okay. But would you say wide receiver is probably the third biggest need behind corner and edge? I guess. Do y'all?
Maybe a center? Maybe a center would be our third biggest.
A center? Okay.
Fucking Jenkins, bro.
And bump Elgton over though, I assume.
But you just signed Aaron Banks.
Yeah, they got Jenkins. I mean, I think they're planning on having Jenkins playing the center. Yeah. But
Okay.
I mean, I don't know because I really like Jenkins as a guard more than a center, but I think they're planning on playing him as a center. So I think for them, wide receiver for the Packers, wide receiver would probably be the third biggest.
Gotcha. All right. So let's move on
wait.
to.
Can I ask one more question on that before we switch?
Go for it. No,
Okay,
you're good.
So if wide receiver is the third biggest issue on the team, but we all acknowledge that they really need a true like standout one guy. That means that even if it's the third biggest need, it would have to be the day one pick. Because if you're taking a guy day 2, day 3, you're just adding to the problem you already have.
100%. Yeah,
Okay,
I totally agree. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at with like Luther
Yeah.
Burden.
Yeah,
like
even though like you kind of need to have bigger needs, it kind of makes the most sense.
Yeah.
To just get him.
It's kind of more of a like if let's say Tet starts to slip, he's sitting there at 18 somehow, then that's when maybe you show interest to some magnitude there. I wouldn't imagine that they would trade up for him. Or the other scenario is Luther could fall there. Luther Burden could fall there. But otherwise, I like Matthew Golden. I like Mika Egbuka. Both of those guys look like high caliber wide receiver twos to me. Whereas I think Luther could be a mid caliber wide receiver one or a high caliber wide receiver two. So, and I don't think that you need a like rock star receiver one in Green Bay. I think you just need a good wide receiver one, and Luther can be that for y'all. And y'all already have size. I don't know how long Christian Watson's still going to be there, but you already have size at that position with Wicks, Dobbs, and Watson. I think you can afford to get a smaller kind of slot Z type guy in Burden.
Yeah, I think one of the other like issues in terms of wide receiver is I think both Dobbs and Watson are on contract years, and so like I don't really see a reality where both of them are going to be getting re-signed. So there's a good chance that you draft like one of their replacements in this draft as well, in the later rounds. So I could see that being the reason they go later instead of earlier, especially if they don't see
that's valid. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think we're we're pacing at a tough pace right now. We got 30. We're averaging 15 minutes a team. We got 31 more to go. So
We're
we'll
doing
be here
every
till
single
midnight.
team.
Yeah, we're gonna try and pick up the pace here though. Minnesota Vikings. They obviously moved on from Sam Darnold. That was one of the blockbuster news of this offseason. Sam signing with the Seattle Seahawks. JJ McCarthy is QB1. So where are we headed with this team? Um, I'll factor in that my number one, my mock 1.0, I mocked Armand Membu to them. That was before Armand Membu got a ton of draft stock. Uh, burst up what?
Boost. A boost
He
Oh,
in
man.
stock.
yeah, boost. There you go. That's the word. And that mock was in January. So, but offensive line remains a need for them. I would
Yeah, I
say
agree.
it's the interior of the offensive line that is in need. You actually have two really good tackles in Darisaw and O'Neal. Um, let's see what else this
They
team
got to
could
get corner,
use.
dude. I know Byron Murphy's still out there. I think he's still out there. But like, I mean, look at this corner room, dude. It's like
Yeah,
Isaiah
I think they have a
Rogers.
good nickel. They have a good depth at the corner position, but they're missing a two. They have nickel galore. They
Mm-hmm.
could move. They have
Oh,
a
Murphy
couple of
is on the
guys.
chart. I thought he was a free agent. Did they re-sign him?
Yeah, they re-signed
Yeah,
him.
they re-signed him.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I retract my statement. I didn't see his name
so
on this chart.
but they do need a corner. I think you're right, and they need a. I'm gonna put BCB boundary cornerback,
Mhm.
because they don't need a nickel. They need a boundary. And then
What if they draft Harrison Smith's replacement at safety? I mean, I know Harrison Smith is probably he still looks like he's he's not going to retire anytime soon. But I feel like
so
would you start grooming his replacement soon?
Didn't they
Like
try and do that
that's
a couple
Malachi
years ago?
Starks?
Though?
yeah. They tried to do that with
Oh, they
Before
did.
his sign.
the one kid, but he's gone. Man, I can't even remember his
Ah,
name. But hey, you do bring up a good point because I mean I can't remember the kid's name that they drafted in
Lewis
2022. I want to
sign.
say
Scene, however you say his name. The safety
yeah,
from
Lewis
Georgia.
Lewis Scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh
Um.
him, yeah.
So last time they drafted a Georgia safety, it didn't pan out too well. Malachi
That's
Starks
true.
could be sitting there though. So
Mhm.
if Malachi slips to them, I think that would actually be something that maybe the history doesn't agree with you,
Repeat
but
or something like
I wouldn't care. It's a one of the top 10 players in this draft, still in my opinion. Um, so let's just write down safety, just so we can pick up the pace here. Um,
that. They
and
re-signed Jones, right?
They did, yep, and
Yeah.
they brought in Jordan Mason as well.
Okay, then that
So
means they're
they're
pretty
I
much
don't
good, I think, at running
yeah I
back.
don't think you're in a position where if you're gonna go get a running back, you're not looking for like what we were having with the wide receiver conversation for the Packers.
Exactly.
You're looking for
The
Genty
backup.
or Marion Hampton. Otherwise, there's no reason to do it because I think you have a
Exactly. Mhm.
decent duo right now.
Absolutely.
But I would argue, not really argue. I think it's kind of obvious. The number one need on this team is probably bolstering the interior. Uh,
Absolutely.
you did bring in Ryan Kelly. You did bring in Will Fries. You lost the one kid who played center, uh, and
Bradbury.
he went Bradbury. He went on to the Patriots, I think. But you could use another guard, and it looks to me what they're doing is bolster, just making this offensive line as bulletproof as you can to
Hmm.
make JJ as comfortable as possible. Last time he had success was obviously the championship year at Michigan. Great offensive line, a lot of weapons, good, obviously a great running game. So I think they're just trying to make that offensive line bulletproof so that you can make him as comfortable as possible. Let's move on to the next team, Detroit Lions. This is obviously an interesting team considering the fact that uh, the way their season ended this past season leaves a lot of question marks. But at the same time, they are a very filled out team with a lot of depth. This is
Hmm.
clearly one of the top five rosters in the NFL right now. Um, so obviously, the running game is set.
Hmm.
Uh, you have a quarterback, you have backup quarterbacks with plural, actually. You have a multitude of guys that are ready to go. in the event that Goff got hurt. Laporta, Brock Wright are your tight ends. The offensive line is best in the league. In theory, another wide receiver could help alongside Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Tim Patrick is there, but he is coming off, if I'm not mistaken, 2 straight season-ending injuries. I will note the edge position. That's been kind of the running theme.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it's Aiden Hutchinson, and then you have a decent situation in terms of the depth of the position, but the starter, the starters are not
it's got to be.
It's Aiden Hutchinson, and then Davenport.
A lot of that's what I'm thinking. Like I feel like edge might be the thing they might want to focus on, especially in the first round. You got a plethora of guys that have college proof of them being, producing or just showing, the physical intangibles to be the number 2, or in case you have another freak accident with as like an Aiden Hutchinson accident again, where guy snaps his leg. Like, okay, who's going to be the number 1 guy that's going to be getting pressure all game? We don't want to have to send an extra guy.
Honestly, I wonder if they would be interested in double dipping at edge, because what you just brought up is very important, because Hutchinson, season-ending injury this past year, he broke his leg in 2019. So 2019. Before the year before he got drafted, 2020. My years are off, I think. The year before he got drafted, he broke his leg, came back, and then earned his number 2 overall pick the following year. So, so I think what I'm gonna write down here is edge, wide receiver, and the cornerback room looks great. You have a lot of young guys in there.
I think they could go O-line, because
let's see.
I feel like their O-line's good, but they're old.
Let's see. So Taylor Decker's about 20. Glass, I don't know how old. I think Glasgow's got to be like 20. Ragnow's got to be 20.
The site says Glasgow's 32.
32. Okay, so you have your entire left side of this offensive line.
Sewell's the only young one.
And Mahogany too. And Mahogany was actually really solid last year. You do got to wonder if, in terms of isolating his play, if maybe he was a byproduct of what was going on around him. He had less to worry about, but I do like Mahogany, so I don't think he's a replaceable guy. So I think you're right here, because I don't think they're gonna be looking for a guy in like day 1, and probably not second round, but I think third round is a good territory for them to look at. Really, this is a team that could be looking at someone like Marcus Bowe from Purdue, someone that can play literally any position. I like that kind of fit for them, because someone that has versatility to play anywhere from tackle to center, because they, like we said, the entire center through left tackle is, I think, all roughly like 28 and up. So, okay, so I'm just going to put O-line, just OL instead of interior or guard or center or tackle. So we'll have edge, receiver, and O-line for them. And then the next team up on the list is the Chicago Bears. And let's pull them up. They have built that roster up pretty well over the past 2 years. I think they're in a much better position this time around, because that offensive line is actually like reasonable for Caleb Williams to work behind. I like the receiver room. The O-line is good. I don't think that you're going to be taking any risks or anything. I don't think they're going to be looking at a wide receiver or offensive lineman early. I think that you're kind of like, oh yeah, we got 3 guys that we can rely on in the interior, and then the tackles are developmental guys.
Are the Bears going to be on Janty watch here?
Yes,
probably. Especially with what's his name?
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Want to get his gift.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like Genty territory for sure.
I don't know if it's
Just-
their number one need, but I mean, you got to be licking your lips if you're the Bears at the idea of that.
just seeing what
100%.
Johnson-
Yeah.
Seeing what Johnson did at Detroit, having two running backs and splitting,
Yeah.
Preserving Jameer Gibbs' legs. I feel like he's going to try to do that with Swift and Genty.
I'm
There's just
still
not a
in.
ton of holes on the defense. Like
I think they
sure.
need an edge rusher. I'll mention that. I think Montez Sweat,
yeah, Dexter.
obviously a good player, but the interior of that offensive line is fantastic. But I think not fantastic. It's good. But I
Did you
think you're
see
looking at an
linebacker
edge
as well?
rusher. TJ, maybe. I like TJ Edwards. I like Tremaine Edmonds.
Okay.
Noah Sewell. I will say with that, I think you're looking at, if you're in a position to trade back from 10, maybe you're looking at going back to like 16 and getting a Jihad Campbell, something
Probably.
like that.
That's what I
So
was-
again, the Luther Burdick conversation we had earlier, where it's like they're good. You have a couple of B tier guys, but if you're going to dip into this position, I think you're looking early. I'd say edge rusher and running back are the big ones here. What is this cornerback room? The corner room looks good.
Corners.
It's Stevenson's all right. Jalen Johnson's great. Kyler Gordon, I don't know how well he played last year. Safeties look good. Actually really good. So I don't think they're out of the question to get like a defensive back, but I don't think it would be. I don't think they're going to be using a first round draft pick or anything to go get one. I mean, maybe they are in love with Will Johnson or something at 10, but so what do y'all think we should put? So other than running back and edge, do you think we should put? I don't know, corner.
I don't know.
Linebacker.
Probably corner. Corner is probably what I'm looking at.
Yeah, probably the corner.
And I think this is a good like.
You could go with.
It's not tough. Like we're not debating between a bunch of positions. I think they have enough position fillers right now on this team that they can be a really good team on both sides of the field. I brought it up a couple times. I think that this could be a
They need
playoff
depth,
team
I
next
think,
year.
more than anything.
Offensively, I would say no. Defensively, yes.
They need O-line depth. Everywhere else, I
Let's see.
think. Okay.
What do we got here? Yeah, I mean, you got Kieran Ahmed J. I don't remember how to say his name. Yeah, I guess you do need some O-line depth, but I'm pretty sure Bates is a decent player. Okay, so we just want to put corner.
Yeah, let's just put corner.
Okay, now let's hop over to the NFC South and fly. We gotta pick up the pace big time here. All right, Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, running back's not a need. Maybe you're looking to replace Ray McLeod.
McLeod
nah.
is good.
Yeah, McLeod's a
actually-
beast.
He's a good. He's a really good 3.
You think so? You think he's as a 3? I would think he's like a
McLeod was
good
good.
4.
McLeod was good last year, bro.
Really?
I'm
What
pulling
did he
this
do last year?
Bro,
Oh, no,
he wore like number 34 and was a wide receiver.
Really?
Oh yeah. And he's there.
I was not keeping up with it.
He had 600 yards and a touchdown, 62 catches.
Oh wow. Oh
Yeah.
okay.
Not a lot of touchdowns, but yeah, he was good.
Yeah, that's definitely okay.
While wearing number 34.
Yeah, that's wild. Definitely need an edge rusher. You definitely need an edge rusher here. Man, we went back-to-back teams. One, the Bears have a backup offensive lineman named Bill Murray, and then the Falcons have a backup or have a starting defensive lineman Morgan Fox. So there you go.
All right. So Falcons is edge rusher, we think.
Yeah,
Probably.
edge rusher for sure.
Because didn't Judon leave in free agency, or is that a
I
trade?
no, yeah, he did.
They should have
Um,
taken that guy 9th overall instead of Penix, or whatever last year.
Oh, oh my goodness.
The Colts got him. I forget his name. He's from UCLA.
Oh,
oh, are you talking about
Latu.
Liatu Latu?
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay, so they did bring in Leonard Floyd though, but that's not stopping me from a 30-year-old pure pass rush specialist isn't stopping me
Yeah.
from getting, especially when this is a team that like has been really subpar as a pass rushing team. This entire defense needs a revamp. Not gonna lie, yeah, you're looking at a facelift at pretty much any position here. I I think linebacker is a need. Yeah,
Mhm.
linebacker is a need. I'll put that in as two. And that's why
Just
that's
entire
why I
front
think Jalen
seven,
Walker.
basically.
Yeah, that's why I think Jalen Walker is like the best way to resolve this in the first round because he can play. He's a linebacker edge hybrid. So I guess it kind of depends on which type of prototype that they like more. If it's Jihad Campbell or Jalen Walker. Okay, so we got edge, we got linebacker. I think the offense is pretty good, other than center. Does everyone know what's the intel on Ryan Netzel? Anyone got anything here?
I have no clue, honestly.
If not one of us knows who this guy is, we're putting center as a top need because that's sus, bro. They could use a corner too. Well, I guess do y'all think center or corner is more needed?
Corner, honestly.
You think corner?
No, center.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's put center down
Yeah.
for the Atlanta Falcons, and
Yeah,
let's move on.
That sounds, yeah.
Okay,
And,
Carolina Panthers. We can honestly just put a list of like every single position for them.
Yeah,
Not
pretty
going
much.
to lie.
I mean,
Other
they
than
could
running
use
back
a-
because they got 30 of them.
I thought
they
they
could
were
use a
going
wide
to trade
receiver.
for Garrett Wilson, but they didn't. So
Yeah. Wide receivers number one.
They
Yeah.
could
No,
definitely do a wide receiver here. Yeah.
Yeah, wide receivers number one on this list. The
I can
interior.
just promise you, it's not running back. That's all I know.
Yeah, exactly. You got
You
way
got
too many of them.
Jonathan Brooks, Gunner. No, what am I saying? Gunner.
You got Rico. You got Hubbard.
Yeah,
Um,
Chuba.
Okay, so and then on the interior, you got Bobby Brown. You got Derek Brown. You got Tershawn Wharton. That is
Mhm.
Deshaun Robinson. My goodness, that is a scary interior.
They've got
All of their talent is in the interior.
Mhm.
Uh,
You gotta start somewhere.
let's
Dang,
see.
they got no people in their secondary on this depth chart, bro. They got 4 corners, 5 corners total.
Yeah,
3 safeties
yeah. They need
total.
a starting corner. They need a starting corner.
Yeah, JC Horn, that guy's not that good.
they need another guy across from JC. You actually got a number of okay edge rushers here. Jadeveon Clowney, DJ Johnson, DJ Wonham, Patrick Jones, Thomas and Coombe was a decent draft prospect a couple years back. Boogie Basham. So I think they have a lot of B tier edge rushers here, but I think they need like a dude though, and they can
Okay,
get
they
a
need
dude. They have
they need a dude off the edge.
yeah. I think they can get a dude at 8. So I'm just yeah. I'm gonna put down edge. You guys chill with that?
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's fine by me.
Okay. So wide receiver, corner, and edge, and you could bring that list freaking down all 22 spots of the starting lineup, but we're gonna stop there. Saints. Worth noting, you get Kellen Moore, and I mentioned this on the pod before. There's not a lot of toys for Kellen Moore to play with on this offense, so.
They're 10,
I-
aren't they? No, they're
I'm
early.
just gonna throw out. I don't know if this is gonna be a top 3 need, but I'm just going to throw out that running back is a thing because Alvin's got one more year on him.
He does.
And I don't
He
think
does.
Kendra. I don't think they like Kendra, and you never know if Kellen's coming in not a fan of Kendra either. I'm not gonna lie. If Genty's sitting there at 9 for them,
They
it
might
wouldn't
take him.
stun me if Boise State alum Kellen Moore goes and
Takes a
gets.
Boise alum as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a voice he'll have in that college department, but okay,
This
so
defense hurts to look at, bro.
let's see. You got two good linebackers. You got an old edge rusher who's still pretty good. The defensive line needs a starter. Well, Carl Granderson's actually pretty good. Chase Young, actually the edge rusher room's decent.
Yeah, what happened to Brian Breesy, bro?
Dude, all that hype in high school.
Injuries and everything.
Poof.
Yeah, his background though is really
Yeah.
inspiring.
Oh, yeah.
I like this defensive
His
line.
sister.
Not gonna lie. I like this defensive line because you got Granderson's a
There's
good player.
potential.
You got a lot of another guy that's just buried in there is Christian Boyd. I was huge on him in the draft prospect last year. John
true.
Ridgway, former Cowboy. He's okay depth piece. I like this defensive line. I like the front seven, and I'm not gonna lie, I
Chase
like
Young.
this defense. I like how this defense is built. You did lose the one kid at corner. I can't remember.
Debo.
He went Debo. Yeah.
He was tough. I like that guy.
You got Kool-Aid McKinstry. You got
Kool-Aid,
Isaac
if he develops,
Yedem.
yeah.
This is a team where you got so much of a you got a foundation. You got a firm foundation for this team. Defensively, I'm not gonna lie, I like this defense, and I think that you could go in on draft day and not worry about it in the first round, maybe, and go and get any pick your poison on day 2 on defense and kind of just get some luxury picks there. But offensively is my biggest concern, me personally. I don't think Brandon. I don't know about. I don't see the vision with signing Brandon Cooks for them because I felt like they were a team that should be looking for a wide receiver, like Tet level type wide receiver. So like I like Olave a lot, but I think Olave is someone that should be slotted in as a high level receiver 2. And then I should think Rashid Shaheed to be a high level receiver 3. So I think if you were to still have that vacant hole and just go Tet, then you could have a killer receiver trio. Offensive line looks pretty good. This is actually a really decent team.
I could see him possibly going quarterback late, like a Kyle McCord pickup or something like that.
I don't think that's necessary, though. I feel like they've already done their Kyle McCords. You got Spencer Rattler and you got Jake Heiner.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do with this team, dude. This is just...
It's a question mark to me.
So do y'all think I should write down running back? Because I feel like that's one that I just totally see them...
I mean, I think you could put an asterisk on it because that could just be a shocker.
Oh, we just said quarterback. My bad. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Running back.
I think running back.
Defensive line with Brissy and stuff.
They could use a war daddy on the defensive line.
That is very true.
Like any 1 through 9 tech.
Okay.
So I'll just put down D line. I'll just put down DL because they could.
Yeah,
I don't
works.
think there's any specific position that they need more than the other on the defensive line, but I do think they could use a guy. And probably a pass rusher type guy because they have a lot of really good run stoppers on this defensive line. So they can get a pass rush specialist at defensive tackle or edge. And then we need one more here. So linebacker, worth noting, is getting old with Demario Davis. Do we think they could find his replacement?
Possibly at linebacker.
Safety is old as well. Tyrann Mathieu, Justin Reed.
Linebacker. Oh no, I like
safety.
Safety,
yeah.
Safety seems
yeah,
better.
so let's do safety.
Okay. Okay, and then let's move along to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No, I've
Edge.
kind of been pre-ordering Tampa. These are my votes.
Oh yeah, all right, fire away.
So I'm firing away. I think tight end should be in the discussion here. Kate Otten's here, but like you could be in position to get like one of the premier guys. Like I
Mhm.
don't know who the best ones are other than Tyler Warren, but like
Loveland.
that low key be a sneaky good pick for like Baker, just to give him one more like really good weapon. So tight end's one of my guesses. As far as that, it's kind of whatever. Maybe an inside linebacker to at least pair with Delonte David in the meantime. I don't really know too much about the rest of these guys. Like they have Anthony Walker and like Deion Jones, but like it's 2025.
Yeah.
They have a guy named Chris Braswell who is not related to Chris Boswell. And then I don't really know other than that though. I don't think their secondary needs anything. Maybe a free safety, but because I like Winfield, I like Jamel Dean and Tyke Smith. Obviously, you guys know I like Tyke Smith a lot, but I don't know. This team isn't like I don't think has a glaring spot.
I agree. I think this is another team. I think this is kind of a step down from what the Saints are right now, except they actually have a lot more top end talent to pair with good foundation elsewhere. I'm gonna say edge is the number one need because they need. I said it on the last team, the Saints. I think they need a war daddy at defensive line. Yeah, and they already have that defensive tackle room is hot. So I'm saying they need to finally get a pure Shaq Barrett replacement. And is Joe Tryon still even there?
No, he signed somewhere else.
Wow, that was a total fail of a pick. You bring in Hassan Reddick, who might not even play because that's just what he does now. But so I'm gonna put edge.
Like the money that he's getting.
Yeah.
Definitely,
okay.
It's the edge for sure.
Zion McCollum is there.
Could you possibly look for a middle linebacker there as well for them? Because
Devin
White just went to re-sign with the Raiders.
I don't even think it's a middle. I think they need a linebacker because Levante David's getting old. Like I think you just if you're in a position where it's like okay linebacker or nothing, I'm saying just get a linebacker. Don't worry about Mike or Will. Just get one. Carson Schweschinger would actually be a nice fit for them in the second round. And then we need one more. So we got edge, we got linebacker. I like the tight end, like dart throw there. I would say that's less of a need. I think that's like a luxury pick. Although I could absolutely see them like
when is a tight end a pick of need? To be honest, though.
Well, I think if like Loveland is sitting there, I think like if Loveland's sitting there at 19, I could see them going for that. Because I think you bring up a good point, though. Like, not to mention the fact that the receiver room, I don't think you can do anything about it right now.
No, McMillan.
The receiver room's great, but it's also old. So I think by doing this, you can get ahead of the curve, but you can have immediate impact by getting a tight end. But I don't think that's a need. I wouldn't say that's a top 3 need. I think that's kind of like schematics, kind of.
I don't hate
that. Yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't say that's like one of these top 3 though. So we got right now we have edge, we have linebacker. What about corner? McCollum's good. I think you have a lot of B and C tier guys.
Yeah, I could possibly see them go corner here. They could because they're late, right? They're
safety.
Late in the first.
Yeah, they're 19, but
okay, so they're in no man's land. They're a little bit in no man's land in terms of.
My last mock I had Jedi Baron.
So you get a nickel as well. Possibly, yeah.
What if we just put DB? Yeah, because I think they need a safety and I think they need a corner. I think you handle it one way or another.
Yeah, I think that's the best
thing
that you can do. Yeah, start with DB because I think they could do safety or corner at 19.
Or that
is if edge isn't there.
All right. Yeah.
I'm gonna step for this next team because I need to move laundry from the washer to the dryer. So I'll be
go for it, bro. Go do your laundry, man.
Okay.
This is important. Okay. The next team is the Dallas Cowboys. So let's try. I'm gonna try and consolidate this because I don't want to go on too much discourse here. We need a wide receiver. We know that. Yeah. We need a wide receiver after CD. That's number one need. Running back,
Mhm.
obviously, everyone knows those two.
That's 1B.
I think nickel is going to be our next biggest need.
True.
After
Yes.
that, because Izzy Mukwamu is your nickel right now. So I'm gonna put nickel corner, and I'm gonna put X wide receiver, XWR, because that's what we need. We got our Z, we got.
Slam thrives.
I think we have a number of good 3 and 4 type guys on the depth chart. Like I think
Mhm.
Mingo, Tolbert, and Turpin are all good number 3 caliber guys in a receiver room. So if you go get a Tet, dude, if we got a Tet, man, that would be a world of wonders. Do you concur? X receiver,
Mhm.
running back, and nickel. All
Yeah.
right. Let's move on then. All right. New York Giants.
Football Giants.
What do we got here?
I mean, they
Quarterback.
technically have their quarterback right now, but I seen them
Yeah,
seen crazier. I can definitely see them pull the trigger on a Shador at 3.
don't know if they're doing.
But
I feel like they have
exactly.
intel that the Browns are going to
They're
get a
waiting for
quarterback.
Arch.
Really?
Or
Over
that.
Duel?
What? Yeah, no, I feel like they have intel that the Browns are going to go get a quarterback. Because we also got to recognize the Browns are irresponsible. This is an irresponsible team that has never learned to
That's
not
very
be
true.
irresponsible with how they attack the offseason.
That's very true.
Secondly, we've talked about it before. Your best hope is getting a quarterback that a young quarterback that lands, so that you don't have to pay him a big contract for the first 4 years, 4 or 5 years. So
That's very true.
I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't do this. I would wait for Arch. But okay. Anyways, we're on the Giants. We'll worry about the
The Giants.
Browns later. What else do these? What else do the Giants need here?
Wide receiver
Because I
two,
think
believe.
they need a wide receiver too. But if they had to go in with what they had right now, I feel like they'd be like okay enough.
I think so
Right?
too. Now that you
So
bring that
what
up,
team?
yeah.
What like positions here are they fiending for help? Edge is beautiful. You got Burns, you got Thibodeau, you got
Running
Chauncey
back.
Golston. You need some depth there, but
You have the interior D line set.
I feel like you're in the same conversation with running back as receiver, where it's like if it worst comes to worst,
Singletary's
okay.
not good.
Tyrone Tracy's
Singletary's
good
not
though.
good.
You had 1,000 yards from him last year.
Mhm.
I don't
He's
love
still
that,
the
but
second guy though. I think Tracy would probably be the 2.
yeah, I feel Tracy reminds me of like what happened to Algier. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But is there bigger needs here? Because this team sucks. So let's see.
Corner.
Hang on. This seems a little better than I thought. Adebo.
Defense is
You
solid,
signed
I feel
Adebo. Drew Phillips is good. Or at least I think he will be. Deontay Banks, I think that he can be good. And I don't know if they want to replace those guys yet. So especially not Phillips.
Mhm.
You get Javon Holland. You have Tyler Nubin, who had a good rookie year. That defensive back room looks pretty good. Edge rusher room looks good. Maybe you need a corner, or hang on, I'm sorry. Maybe you need a linebacker.
Probably. Yeah.
I'd say linebacker would be up there. So I'll write that down.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Linebacker
McFadden
looks
had
like
some solid play.
Yeah, but next,
McFadden's
actually,
the white guy,
Okereke-
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you have. I mean, man, I guess this is a team where you have. If you went into battle right now, you have every single position is okay enough.
that is very true. Yes.
Like, I don't think this team's going to have a monstrously bad year this year. I feel like they're going to get to like 6-11, 7-10. They're going to be an ugly team, but not like they're not going to be a playoff team. They'll be 500 at best. But now what you're trying to do is elevate that. So, do we go? I guess
Did we say tight end.
Yeah, but I feel like this is what you drafted Theo Johnson for. I think you drafted Theo to be this.
Yeah.
And they like Bellinger. You also have Greg Dolchitz all the way down the depth chart, worth noting. So, um, you have a little bit
He's
of
kind of
room
cooked, I
there.
think.
It's just not. It's just not a top heavy room. But I think you're betting on Theo
Yeah.
to be good, and I feel like that's an okay bet.
Mhm.
So what about this offensive line? What's your report on Runyon, Ayush? Because he was a Packer.
He
Is he a
was
starter
he's
type guy?
pretty mid.
Okay, so do you think they should replace him?
He's
Because I would
he's
say
like
that's
a
more replaceable then.
yeah, if you can replace him, yeah, he's
Okay,
replaceable.
I'd say that's more of a priority than replacing running back or receiver. Because I feel like they have dudes that are like okay enough to get by. They definitely need to upgrade at least one of running back or receiver, but I don't feel like you're like, dude, I need a wide receiver, I need a running back, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get it. Right? Like it's different I feel like they can skate by. Okay, so do we want to put
I don't.
you also have I mean Jermaine Elmanuel at right tackle. I feel like he could bump into guard. So I feel like this is another one where you put O line instead of guard or something. Because you could get offensive
Mhm.
tackle and be a better team because Elmander could move into guard. Um, okay, so linebacker, O line, and then I guess we're still going to have to circle around to the same exact conversation we're having: running back, receiver, or quarterback, or
I'll say
or
running back.
or we could just say weapon,
Skill.
like a skill
A skill
player
position.
weapon. Is that
A skill position.
you
Yeah.
guys like that? Because
Yeah, I like that.
I think you could just go. This is a team where it's like, who's the best one available?
Exactly.
Okay,
I could
so
definitely
that's
see
what
that
we'll do.
happening. Yeah.
I'll put skill and like this is a team that could also in theory be going for like Tyler Warren,
Very
pair
true.
him back up with Theo. So
What team
all
are
right,
you on?
we're on the Giants and we're moving on to the Eagles now. So this is
Sweet.
I think
uh,
I got something I want to bring up with the Eagles
all right. Go
if
for
we
it.
moved on. The Eagles lost a lot of depth in this offseason,
Yeah,
but I feel like one of the bigger things that they can do is probably start. I know Mekhi Becton just signed a 2-year deal with the Chargers, and I just recently looked up that they brought back a former Eagle for their offensive line, but I could possibly see them go interior for the right guard or left guard because I know Dickerson started out at right guard while Kelsey was still playing. Then he retired, and Dickerson moved right over. With Mekhi
yeah.
Becton gone, I could
Maybe he moves back to
exactly you could
his
or
place of origin.
I mean, I thought Dickerson played center at Bama.
He did, but he's
Yeah.
not. They like Jurgens as center, and
Okay.
Jurgens is more natural than Dickerson
Okay.
is.
I'm thinking like maybe go interior, like focus on the
Yeah,
interior, get your your next starting left guard or
I like
starting
that.
right guard,
I'd
or
say
plan for the
guard
future,
specifically.
I think
or
D
plan
end
for the
here.
future. Oh, D end.
D end is definitely up
Because
there.
remember
Yeah,
they
that's something you
gave
can-
Bryce Huff that big boy contract thinking he was going to be the guy, and then he didn't even see snaps. I don't think in the Super Bowl.
That is
So
true.
I just like I know they're kind of weird how they have a D end and then they have like another outside they own or like I don't know how the Eagles do it. It's like their kind of outside linebacker situation is weird to me. Like I feel like sometimes they just have
yeah,
one of them on the field.
yeah.
But like some guy
They do a 3-4. Yeah, they do a 3-4 with wide. They love their wide nine edges. So I think you're right. What I would say though, I feel like they need a 5 tech defensive end, like a very
Mhm.
traditional
Absolutely.
edge setting defensive end because their screamers off the edge.
Nolan
They're
Smith.
pure.
Mhm.
Yeah, what Hassan Reddick was for them before. That's what Nolan Smith is. You have
And
that
Josh Sweat.
in yeah, Josh Sweat was a little bit more of a edge though,
I thought he
like
was
a
a
defensive
screamer.
end.
He played like a screamer
He
in the
was
Super Bowl. That's for sure.
he had a little bit more. He's like a 7 tech.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But yeah, they have their Nolan Smith. They have their Bryce Young. They have Josh Uche. These are your wide nine guys that are going to get after the quarterback. I don't fully understand that, Alec.
I was just repeating a quote, bro.
Oh. um. Yeah. So I think they need a five. I think they need a traditional defensive end. So I'm gonna put I'll put 5T 5
Okay.
tech. And then what else do we need here? You got your linebackers. You got your depth at
This
linebacker.
team is so good,
Mhm.
bro. This team is so good. I hate it.
You're not alone in that statement, dude. You're
Quinion
not alone in that
Mitchell, DeJean. So maybe you go get a corner.
You might
Maybe
as
you
well
go
just
get a
keep
corner.
loading up.
Yeah, because I mean, they did
Because
just release Slay, so
you release Slay, you let
have
do
they
you
let
still
Bradbury
have
go yet?
do you still have Bradbury?
Bradbury
Yeah.
got cut. Slade just
He did?
walked in free agency.
Okay. Um
Yeah.
so yeah, right now it's Ringo or Adoree Jackson starting across from Quinion Mitchell. Obviously, Cooper DeJean is CB1. Elite Song is playing nickel. Eli Ricks is good depth. Ringo and Adoree Jackson are good depth. I think this is. I think you could go get a corner. Would y'all say so?
I
Like
mean,
a
could
boundary?
Yeah, you can definitely outside boundary corner to play opposite of
Quinion.
Quinion. Or, I mean, wasn't that DeJean's regular position in Iowa? Wasn't he a boundary
Yeah,
corner?
he wasn't. He wasn't ever gonna last there though.
Gotcha.
He wasn't gonna last. I think he is so natural at nickel,
He showed it, that's for sure.
and he can tackle too. So
Very.
I'd say go get a boundary.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
yeah. All right.
Real quick,
Commanders. Yeah, go
we've
for it.
I was gonna possibly bring up like if it was there and they I mean they've got defense at five. You said 5 tech, boundary corner. I
And a
wanted to
guard.
say like and a guard. I was thinking like why not offensive line as a whole because you don't know how much longer Lane Thomas has at right tackle. You don't know how much longer you
Lane
have with
Johnson.
him.
Yeah.
Lane Johnson.
No,
I'm
that's
so sorry.
valid.
I said his
That's
last name.
valid.
Because like, would you draft?
Well,
his
they've done that
replacement
before. That
to play right
we've
tackle?
seen them do this before too. With I mean, obviously they have two guys that played center in college, Jurgens and Dickerson. We've seen them flex Mekhi Becton in from tackle to guard. I don't think they care about. I think they're a positionless football team in terms of offensive line.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I like that. I'll put OL instead of OG. Okay, so we're approaching the hour-long mark already.
Oh Lord have
And we're
mercy.
not even through the NFC. Washington. Obviously not a quarterback.
Defensive tackle. I mean, they just let Jonathan Allen go. I
Dude,
wouldn't say
they
go.
got a room though at defensive tackle because they
That is
brought in
very true.
Kinlaw, they brought in Eddie Goldman. You have Deron
That's
Payne,
true.
Jerzon Newton, who was a second-round pick last year, Kinlaw and Goldman, all drafted last year. So
They're good at corner and safety too, right? Like, because a lot of those came from Dallas.
corners, Sanderstill, Lattimore, Noah Igbenogany actually had a really good year last year. I could see them try and get a boundary and take make Sanderstill back move back to his comfortable
Nickel.
position. Nickel. Well, I guess he played boundary at Michigan too, but the
Are any of
position
these
where I
safeties
think he should be
good?
playing.
I've never heard of these guys.
Quan Martin is good. Will Harris is replaceable.
Okay.
Quan Martin is a athlete, and I liked him a lot coming out of school. Let's see edge really quick.
They're
Ooh,
good
they
at
might
what
they, they might need edge. I think they need edge.
probably.
You got
I'm seeing like they
it's
could
Durant
be-
Armstrong and Frankie Louvu, and then
Yeah, they need
not
edge.
much. It's
They need edge.
it's tough. Yeah, so this is a position where you double dip, which is actually
Mhm.
stunning to me that they would get this far with a Dan Quinn team and not have edge. Like you could use two of them.
For sure.
I didn't notice that they got Junior Fehoko, another Cowboy, to the Commanders.
Then
Okay,
there's I agree with edge. You want a War Daddy for like get you a Micah Parsons style guy for a Dan Quinn offense to be a hellraiser off the edge.
so you get
And
on
then-
offensive line. This offensive line's good too because Brandon Coleman had a good year last year. He'll probably be. I think they'll move him over to right tackle. And you bring in Laramie Tunsil, you have Tyler Bedash, you have Sam Cosme coming back from injury, Nick Algaretti at left guard. I'm comfortable with that. I don't think they need to replace that. Receiver room looks good now, and I think this is a team where you don't need to put really any stock into that. You have the depth, you have the starters. Tight end, no tight end. You just invested second into Vince Knott.
Sure.
Maybe running back.
Maybe. I mean, I know Robinson is the
I
guy.
think they
Isn't
could
he?
use a running back.
I think they definitely like.
I
going in
like.
the second round.
Yeah, I wish. Like Brashard, do you guys know who Brashard Smith is from SMU? I think that would be such a great fit. But I wish there was a guy like him that's a little bit earlier on. That's like a second, third round type guy, maybe. But they're picking late in the second round. So we got edge so far. Would we say safety?
Safety probably.
I think
yeah,
safety.
would be
And then maybe
on the
linebacker,
corner.
so that you could put Frankie Louisville as
Linebacker.
a little bit more of a traditional linebacker and
Yeah.
get Bobby Wagner replacement. All right, we'll put linebacker. And then now we can move on to the NFC West. Arizona. Probably a lot of options here.
Poor Cardinals. I just forget that this team exists.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Like the last
get
time.
you.
This sounds bad. The last time they were relevant was when they traded for DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, dude.
And they
Like,
went.
When was the last time anyone was excited about the Cardinals?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
because
would have
they
been the
had-
Kyler Murray MVP year, which was Hopkins coming in.
Yep.
Hopkins
so-
was on the tail end of his prime.
So you got an okay receiver room here. Obviously, you're banking on Marvin Harrison Jr. taking a jump. I don't like. I like Michael Wilson. I don't like Zay Jones a lot. I think that's replaceable, but we'll circle back around to that. This offensive line needs help. I'm just gonna offensive line bring in. Dude, I'm telling you, Clayton Adams, the Cowboys' new OC, carried this offense, man. The way because this offensive line was actually okay last year, and on paper you look at this and you're like, what even is this?
We like
How does this team
Jonah
even-
Williams and we like Paris Johnson, and then Kelvin.
Do we
Beachum
even
is
like
really-
Jonah Williams? Jonah's
Well,
an
I'm just saying
average player.
He's fine. Like
Yeah.
fine. But like Kelvin Beachum has played for forever, and I'm a big
Yeah.
Kelvin Beachum guy. So like, who else is on this line other than those guys?
Yeah. Well, I don't know why they let Will Hernandez walk. He had a career year last year for them. I don't know what the deal was there, but
Well, they have like 8 tight ends roster too. And then they got
yeah, they do. There's tight end is set. You got one of the better tight ends too, and you got
McBride is
a
probably
good
the
room
one
behind him.
division.
Okay.
Matt Kittle, I'm stupid.
What about edge rusher here? We got Baron Browning, Zaven Collins. You drafted Darius Robinson last year. Josh Sweat, you brought in BJ Ojulari. How replaceable is that though? What's like? Who did I mock to them? I'm gonna look at this.
This is a lot. Robinson's
so-
the only person here I don't really know.
Robinson was their man. Was he their first last year? I don't even
Yeah, I
remember.
think so.
Oh, was that their?
Yeah.
okay.
So they need a
This
linebacker.
really-
They need a
I think
linebacker.
we should just punt on the Cardinals.
No,
and do them
no,
later.
they have Milo Eifler, bro. They have Milo Eifler.
Oh yeah,
No, wait.
Milo. We'll draft a guy and then we'll start Milo next to him. How about that?
Dude, that was one of the funnier ones.
Legendary
we ever did
offside
anything with.
moment.
Oh, I'm looking at the profile photo right now.
That's my goat, bro.
Dude, that was one of the funnier polls. Like absolutely like Madden creative player build. Can I share my screen? Hold up.
Yeah, I think so.
Here, wait a second. I need to share a certain. Oh yeah, here. Wait a second. I did it wrong. Give me a moment.
Well, he does that. So we have offensive line, linebacker. Do we need a corner? I assume. You got Garrett. You got
How old
Max
is
Mel.
Murphy Bunting now?
Murphy Bunting's fine, like a good fine.
He's all right. Yeah. It's just such a room of B tier guys at corner. Elite.
That's my
What a
goat,
goat, bro.
bro.
What a goat. Look at him. So
I
Do
hope
you
they
got-
have a Sunday night game and he starts.
gosh.
That's what this
Sunday
player's
night?
gonna
You
be
think they're getting a
remembered for
Sunday
his
night game?
entire career.
Surely Kyler and Trey McBride can get him one.
So what about
Yeah,
defensive
when
line
is the
here?
last time the Cardinals had a Sunday night game?
It had to have been when they had Hopkins.
They need defensive line.
Yeah, I'll just put defensive line because you could use an edge, you could use defensive tackle. I think DT is probably the biggest need there, but are we just gonna stare? We're just gonna stare at Milo for the rest of this episode.
No, wait, I'm not done.
No, leave it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not freaking leaving.
Neil Milo Eichler moment.
Okay, so Rams. I think this is probably the best team in the NFC West this year. You got Devontae, you got Puka Nacua, you got Tutu Atwell. Wide receiver room's set.
They still
Jordan
kept
Jordan
Cooper Kupp.
Whittington's a good backup. I like this room. Offensive
Corner.
line. So Alaric
Line.
Jackson's pretty good. Yeah, you definitely need corner. I'd say, yeah. But you got Alaric Jackson, Steve Avila, Bo Limmer, Kevin Dotson, Rob Evanstein. You could probably use an offensive lineman. I don't think it's like if the season started today, you'll be okay at O-line. Just not in an ideal situation.
They just
Corner
need
is
depth
probably
there, I think. They need depth behind them.
I don't know. I feel like you could replace one of Havenstein or Limmer, but because if you replace them, then you have depth.
I feel like Bo Limmer had a good year last year, didn't he?
Oh my gosh,
Am I tripping?
what is it? Alec is exposing me right now.
Wow.
I looked like that, dude.
Dang. That was like Chick-fil-A.
I had to
days, dude.
glow
I
up
almost-
for real. bro.
I'm dead serious too.
Yeah.
Back
I
to
work
Milo.
with you, bro. I know that look.
No one told me. Why did no one tell me?
We would have told you if you
Sorry.
had your comments on Dillon.
Oh gosh, I'm just getting exposed left and right here. Okay, if your middle linebacker is named Landman, you got to replace him. Okay, we're replacing.
We're in the Rams.
We're putting a linebacker in
Landman.
Landman, Nate Landman. Omar Spites is okay.
Omar Spates. Isn't that a
Spates, yeah, he played for
isn't that
LSU.
an actor?
I don't
Maybe.
think so.
This D line is beautiful, man. This
I
D
can't
line
believe
is just
they
beautiful.
keep making Akilla Witherspoon into a good player.
Yeah.
I thought Witherspoon was.
Like Witherspoon's
pretty darn
their
good coming
CB1. No, they have Darius Williams.
Yeah, you need a corner for sure. So corner, linebacker, those are givens. What else are we looking at here? Maybe a tight. Are we looking at a Higbee replacement? Maybe.
No, you can't say that. If I said
wouldn't
that
be
for
against that.
the Buccaneers, and I can't. I'm not allowed to do it.
But this is a much different team.
Higbee's like 70.
Yeah,
Higbee's old.
and the Buccaneers
Audin's
actually
like
have a good start.
25.
Yeah, Auden's good.
Higbee is also coming up. Wait, did he tear his ACL last year or the year before?
It was the year before.
Yeah. He was kind of mid this year, so.
Yeah, it's the recovery process. It always takes more than 1 year to fully recover from an ACL tear.
So, do we want to put him there? A tight end?
Tight end.
Because this is a
I
team
would.
that can do
Let's
some
ask
luxury
Milo.
picks.
Milo, what do you think?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh,
I'm actually like 10 years old.
dude. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
All right, Milo said it's fun.
Okay,
If
San
there's an
Francisco
interview- if there's no
49ers.
interviews with this guy, I feel like he can't.
Good
He just
lord.
can't talk.
San Francisco needs a lot of help.
Okay, so their wide receiver room's all right, even though they lost Debo. You got Brandon Ayuk, Pearsall, Jennings. I like that trio.
Mhm.
The offensive line needs a ton of help. I'm going to put
Yes.
offensive line here.
Mhm.
And you got to note Trent Williams is getting old too. So I don't
Very.
think this
Well,
is a team that
bro's gonna get in a fight and get suspended again.
Yeah.
Yep. He'll do
Um,
something like that.
So we got O line. Okay.
Interior D line. Interior D line.
Interior
Mhm.
D line.
With Hargrave
Dude,
and
both.
Collins,
Especially
both.
interior, but I think you could use an edge rusher too.
Yeah, it's the opposite of Nick Bosa for sure.
Dude, you need everything.
This is Drake
Mhm.
Jackson's
You need a
year.
linebacker. You need
Yeah,
a corner.
Grandma's gone. Yeah.
I
They
think
need
safety is
some
the only
help.
position where you're okay at. But you need a linebacker. You need a corner. You need a defensive lineman. I'm just gonna put DL and
You think they're good
Do we
at
think-
safety?
Jared
No.
Brown and Malik Mustafa had a good year last year, and Jared
I
Brown
think-
has been okay.
I
So-
didn't know who Brown was.
They need.
Yeah, I
help
and Grant
everywhere.
Ritchie's Richie Grant's in behind him. They have an okay room. It's not ideal, and for most teams that'd be replaceable, but you just have it's
We gotta
allocation of
remember
resources for this team.
49ers, man. They're like that weird, like very high and low. Like there's not really a team like them in the NFL. Like it's like Super Bowl or 3 wins for these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
So,
very
like,
true.
Like this because
They're entering that phase now.
well they've always been in that phase. Like that's one reason they had that many runs was because like they would have a season so bad they could get Nick Bosa and then they'd load for the next year. Then they'd
Yeah.
suck again, and I don't know, man.
Well, yeah, I think they're at the low part of that phase right now.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I'm gonna say, do you guys think O line, D line, and linebacker is a good way to put it? Because I know they need a DT specifically, but I think they need, dude. It's literally like maybe quarterback safe, maybe running back safe, maybe receiver safe. Every other position is
Yes.
you got to get like something. And I'd say safety is the next safest position, but every other
Mhm.
position, it is something has got to be replaced here. But the special thing about this portion of what you were just talking about, Alec, how they go through the highs and lows, and then they go through this kind of phase where they're at the low point, they reload for the next go around. The bad part about this time is George Kittle will be out of the league in a couple years.
Very true.
And then Fred Warner will be out of the league in a couple years. Trent Williams
Mhm.
will be out of the league in a couple years. Christian McCaffrey's going to be out of the league in a couple years. The nucleus of your team is going to be retired.
And then Brock Purdy's making $70 million.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and that's that's actually a really important point here. I brought this up on the last episode. It is not fully off the table, in my opinion. I think you could go trade Brock Purdy, get some capital, and go draft Shedeur Sanders, because all of a sudden you clear all of that space or all that money that you'd be potentially using on Brock Purdy, and now you can actually be ready to go and reload. So, and I don't think Purdy's. I think Purdy's an average, maybe a slightly above average starting quarterback, and I think that's what Shear is going to be. Okay. Oh my gosh, Alec, buddy.
I saw you
Oh
start
my
laughing.
gosh.
I saw
Bro,
you start laughing.
what is
so
wrong
hard.
with this guy? Oh my goodness.
He's
All right.
He's
like
laughing.
tracing
He thinks
his
it's
face
funny.
too.
Children.
Bro.
He's like tracing his face, like he's caressing his face.
Dog.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
The Seattle Seahawks.
receiver, I'd say, is one thing I think they need to address.
Maybe, but
But
you get Cooper Cup. I feel like
I'm talking
I
like
feel
a
like-
wide receiver 3. Like, get yourself
Yeah.
something
I feel like-
that can help complement.
I think you might be
Jigba
okay
and
with
Cooper.
Valdez Scantling though.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
what if
This-
they?
This wide receiver group reminds me like exactly of the Saints. It's like a better version of the Saints wide receiver room.
What we talking?
I'd
TNT, I feel
I'd
like.
argue I
Michael
think
Thomas,
JSN could
or-
be a true receiver one though.
No, like right now. Because
Oh, and Jigba
JSN
for
is
sure.
like an up. It's like a better version of Olave. You got Cup is a better version of Cooks, and then MVS is like a version of Shaheed.
Is Cup better than Cooks though?
I don't know. It's just
Yes, 100%.
They got
For
John
sure,
Rice
yeah, for
Plumlee. That's my boy. That's our boy over at the office.
You need
that
interior.
is, yeah.
You need interior offensive line though.
Yeah,
I'll
that-
say
that's
that.
very
Well, I'm gonna
true.
put that down right now. That's
They
one of
need
their biggest
offensive
needs. So offensive line, I'll put it. I'm gonna put
Do you want to?
guard though. That's specifically what they need. Tight end for sure. Yes. And that's another thing where if you go all in, if you get like a Colson Loveland, then you can what we were just talking about with receiver, you resolve both the receiver and the tight end situation. So you get a premier tight end, and by default, you recreate a DK in the aggregate. So there you go, a little money ball line for you. So D line is elite, like one of the best in the league. I like the linebacker situation here. In theory, you could make an upgrade, but Ernest Jones is good. Why is Josh Jobe starting for this team? They moved Kobe Bryant to safety. Is that right?
I don't.
Is
that's-
that
that's-
accurate? Okay, well, regardless, this safety room sucks too. So are we just putting in DB? Because you need
Probably.
another corner, and you need another safety. So you get whoever's best available,
Yeah, you just go DB.
and then you play chess with others, and you move them. Okay, so I'll put DB, and now, now we can go to AFC. Bills. Gosh, we are. Oh no, not Bills. What we started with the North, so we'll do Ravens first. Bro, this dude. Okay,
Like,
so we need. I think we could use another interior offensive lineman for this team, like a guard. It's not like it's not horrible though, but it is up there. So I'll say like let's back pocket that and then revisit that in a second. Receiver, they don't need a receiver, I don't think, and they never need a receiver. You also got Deontay Johnson all the way down the freaking depth chart. I know Alec loves him.
I didn't even notice that.
Tight end is good. And he's back. There he is. Running back is obviously set. So
What team are we looking at?
we're looking at the Ravens.
Ravens.
Oh,
Edge rusher is
edge. Yes.
okay.
Uh,
You got Kyle Van Noy, you got
corner-
Ajabo, you got Awe. I think you could use another edge rusher here.
Yeah, get some youth behind him.
Yeah. So yeah, let's do that. Let's put.
Ajabo played this season, right?
Yeah, he did. I don't think he did anything though. So I'm gonna put edge. Do we need a corner here? Yeah, you got Nate Wiggins.
They need
You
a corner.
invested at first. You got Marlon Humphrey. You got Chidobe
Yeah.
Awuzie, and you invested capital into TJ Tampa. I think you're good there. Safety worth noting. Darius Washington had a good year last year, so I don't know how he might be replaceable, but I don't think he's like someone that you're chopping at the bit to get a new guy. So okay, so I'm gonna put. I'll like I said, we'll revisit guard. I'm gonna throw guard in there. Edge, guard. What else do we need here? Do you guys think they'd be interested in getting a linebacker behind Roquan because Roquan's getting up there in age?
Maybe. Possible to see that.
What else would we do though? I feel like
running back.
I feel like that's the next
How
thing.
good was Travis Jones?
He's all right, but
I heard his
you also
name,
have
but I'm not sure if he was good or bad.
Metabayuke. I guess you could use
Yeah.
another defensive tackle. I mean, it's so weird to say though. It's so weird. I'll put interior defensive line, but it's so weird to sit here and look at needs for the Ravens and say defensive line and offensive line because that's so out of character for them. They're always a team that is ready to go at those positions. So it's interesting. Okay. Let's move on to the Bengals. So
Anything defensive.
every single defensive position and offensive line position, pretty much.
Yes. They're set skill wise.
Wide
They're
receiver,
set.
every quarterback or wide receiver.
Do you guys think they need a? Do you guys think Trey Hendrickson's gone? Because I think he is.
Probably.
No, I think he's gonna stay.
He'll
You
find
think
it.
he's gonna stay?
Trade
Ayush,
to-
you be
They're
the.
not gonna be able
I
to
don't.
pay
I
him
think they're
else.
asking for too much. I think he's gonna stay.
You think he's gonna stay? Okay. Okay. So I guess we'll
Because they're
go with.
asking for like a first, and I don't think they're gonna get a first for it.
Okay. Well then, yeah. Okay. So we'll assume that he's gonna stay. You need a linebacker. You need a corner. You need a safety. You need more edge rush help. I think you still need edge, even if Hendrickson's gonna stay.
Mhm.
You need it's literally every position here. I think maybe defensive tackle is the only okay position here. And then offensive line too. So I'm gonna put O line. And then do we just want to say D line and DB?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess,
Because it's just, there's so many. This is one of those teams that this is probably going to be one of the more pivotal picks in the draft because they could go any of 10 ways. So it's they have so many needs. Okay, Browns, QB. That's a prerequisite here,
Mhm. QB.
Running back.
whether they address it or not. Running back.
Running back.
Jeez.
Yeah, because Nick
QB,
Chubb, you don't know how long
RB,
Nick Chubb's gonna be around.
He hasn't even signed anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
What else we got here? We got this defense is kind of decent. So you got a good
Wide
D line
receiver.
here. Let's see, wide receiver. Michael Woods, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman. Yeah. You did draft Jamari Thrash last year. So would you say it's all offense here?
Probably.
Or
yeah.
I feel like
their
I
defense
feel like you
hasn't
could
been an
say,
issue.
but would you say that another edge across from Myles Garrett is more important than a wide receiver? Because
Yeah, I would say
Isaiah
that.
McGuire it's Isaiah McGuire, Joe Trot. Like even besides starters, you don't have depth at all.
But don't forget though, the whole argument for Myles Garrett for years has been he's so good that he takes all these double teams that the scrubs are getting open on the other side. So they're just going to keep that mindset.
Maybe.
What do you think, Milo? Should they go for defensive line?
Oh my
All right, Ayush, what do you think? D line or wide receiver? You make the
I
pick.
think wide receiver.
All right, wide
I
receiver.
think-
So QB, running back,
think-
and wide receiver.
Judy's okay. Tillman's okay. I don't know who Michael Woods is, to be completely honest.
He's the
And
guy.
Thrash is probably not playing much.
Okay, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do we got here? So we need. I think the wide receiver room's all right. You could get the wide receiver room's fine. I forgot about Roman Wilson for a second, but obviously George, obviously DK. There has been the conversation of if maybe they're going to turn around and trade George. I don't think that's going to happen. I know that there's overlap considering they're both X's, but I don't care. You got Broderick, you got Troy Fatanu, you got Mason McCormick, Zach Frazier, and Isaac Siomalo. I think that's a good group. Me personally, especially since you'll get Troy Fatanu back from injury, which is obviously going to pay dividends. Quarterback, obviously, we're going to throw a quarterback in first, and then running back. Would you say?
Yeah, I'd say running back.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got man, Isaiah Loudermilk is listed as a starter right now. That can't be right. Yeah, I guess so because they run the 3-4. So
It's because Jovi got released.
yeah, that's true.
That entire D-line, interior D-line. Probably...
Yeah, you got Cam playing the 4-3 hybrid kind of. Benton's actually solid if I'm not mistaken. Loudermilk's all right. I think you're okay there. I mean, I don't think you need to invest big time capital into it. You could. So I mean, we already said QB and running back. On paper, this is a solid team. Oh, and you also got Montrevious Allens, Dean Lowry. At corner, we got Darius Slay and Joey Porter.
The back end of the defense is pretty good. I don't know why Eccles is listed over Beanie as a starter. I think Beanie's going to start.
Okay. Yeah, I think the defensive back room is good. Linebacker room is good.
Juan Thornhill too.
I'd say I guess it's kind of deciding between D line or like guard, but I'd say they probably need a D lineman more. So yeah, let's put QB, RB, and I'll just put. Yeah. I'm gonna put IDL, so we can have an interior guy here.
Yeah, but,
this is a good team, and I think there's some good depth on this team.
I wonder if we're in a Packers situation where like, if a guy's there, you take a wide receiver, but if he's not, you don't stress about it. Not because of anyone moving or anything, but just the rich get richer type thing. I doubt it though. I think there's other things that the team.
That'll be interesting. I feel like y'all's top of the wide receiver room is too good to go wide receiver. Honestly.
Yeah. And I mean, you have Roman Wilson still. And I like Roman. I think he's gonna be good. Once he gets the chance. You have some depth. You have Kelvin Austin, Ben Skoranek. I mean,
Calvin
Scotty
was really
Miller
good last year, and Skoranek. I love Skoranek. He's one of my faves.
And he can block too.
Lance
so
he's. I didn't realize how good he was at blocking. He's nasty. Like, yeah, it's almost like I don't know what the word is. Like, way better than you'd expect. It's weird that they love dudes that'll block because actually like Darnell does it too. Like if you get Darnell and Skoranek out there at the same time, like blocking, it's crazy.
Should open a lot of lanes.
Just need a running back to run through them.
Yeah. All right. Are we under the Texans now?
All right. Yeah, it's Tal. So let's do Texans next. Offensive line is a prerequisite for them.
Yeah.
Even though they have depth at the position, I really don't care. There's very few of those guys that I would feel comfortable starting on my offensive line. So I'm going to put O-line because they can get literally anything on that offensive line. Tight end's good. Running back's good. Receivers good.
On paper,
Maybe
once
not.
you get back and healtty.
Yeah, maybe not because
Well,
Tank's going to miss the
they-
whole
Pretty good
year, dude.
receiver.
Yeah,
Tank's gone.
He's missing all year. I would probably
John
go receiver
Mechie's
here.
good.
Mechie's good, but he hasn't produced. I could
I
definitely
feel like-
take a receiver.
I feel like receiver might very much be on the table early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's. I'm going to back pocket that for a second.
Okay.
Let's look at this D line or defense. The D line's great. Man, that is a filthy D line.
Danielle Hunter just got paid.
Yeah, extended. The linebacker room's good. You just brought in EJ Speed. You have Chris Harris. You have Aziz Al Shahir, and Henry To'o. Derek Stingley, beast. Kamari Lassiter, beast. Jalen Petrie, beast. Kalen Bullock, beast. CJ Gardner Johnson, beast. You have Jimmy Ward as backup. Ronald Darby. Oh my gosh, that is.
That's
They're
secondary.
Filthy
good in the
back.
secondary for sure.
I think this entire defense is like it's just beautiful. I mean, and if you wanted to take a luxury pick, you could go get an interior guy on defense. But I feel like wide receiver is the next biggest thing.
Yeah.
I
But
like
you got no
honestly,
bigs, too.
honestly, I'd say so. And I'll put
I forgot they
DT
have Kurt.
otherwise. But so I honestly, if I'm the Texans, I'm going into this draft and I'm like first round pick, offensive lineman, second round pick, offensive lineman, third round pick, offensive lineman, fourth round pick, wide receiver, fifth round pick, offensive lineman, and just all the way down the board. Because that is a disgusting offensive
Unless
line.
they get like a sneaky good like running back like day 3, but I just I don't know, man. I'm with
Yeah.
you guys, just lineman.
It's this is you got to
Is,
go get O
Is
lineman,
what's his
and you
name
got to
even
hope that someone
playing for
falls.
them on the Steelers? The guy the Steelers gave him. Where is he? Let's see
Who?
him. Kendrick Green. Is he not on the team?
Oh, he's gone. They traded him for Gardner Johnson, right?
For CJ.
No,
Yeah,
that was
Kenyon
Kenyon
Green was traded.
Oh, Kenyon
They
Green.
traded
Hang on.
Kenyon Green for.
Kendrick Green. I don't know what happened. to
Kendrick Green.
I forgot there were two Greens.
Yeah, because I remember
think
the
he was
fans
ever on
were
the
saying last year
Texans,
that
was
Kendrick
he?
Green should be playing over Kenyon Green. And I was like, what? Like,
Oh.
oh, he's on the Kendrick Green's on the Bills now. Okay.
All right, so we'll do offensive line. Offensive line, wide receiver, and defensive tackle.
That works for me.
Let's do
All
it.
right, moving on. What do we got? Colts. All right, to the Colts. Thank God.
Yo, you think it's over? It's coming back in the least expected.
Okay, so offensive line might be a sneaky need here. Yeah, I think you need an offensive tackle, honestly. Need a tight end for sure, which is why, Warren is the favorite here. Unless you're a Yush and like Loveland there, which I kind of like that connection. But so I'm gonna say offensive tackle, tight end.
Bro, I'm telling you, the tight end world. I'm telling you, the way you draft is by name, okay? And Colson Loveland is a way better name than Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren is going to be a good tight end because tight end is gonna. All right, tight end is one of the positions that name doesn't really matter because you got guys like Jason Witten and Antonio Gates being like some of the greatest, Tony Gonzalez being some of the greats of all time. Like those are just the most average names ever, But and then you got Rob Gronkowski, who's the best one. That's a good name. So now Colson Loveland is going to bring the name game back to the tight ends this season.
He's bringing the name
Tyler
game
Warren's
in.
going to be good.
Is Kyle Pitts.
Colson Loveland's going to be better.
So I just have a theory
Kyle Pitts
here.
is literally the pit.
I haven't talked about this on the pod, but it came to my mind before.
We
But
drafted Cora.
the Dallas Cowboys need to sign Tyler Smith, Deron Bland, Micah Parsons, and Jake Ferguson all within the next year. I don't know if they can pay them all. All of them are going to ask for top 5 money at their position, just knowing the market. I think Jake Ferguson could get traded, and I wonder if this could be like a top tier landing spot for them because he could be exactly what you explained Colson Loveland as a couple weeks ago in the collab mock that we did. I feel like that would be a good landing spot. They dish off a 3. Dallas gets to be able to not worry about the contract. But just wanted to throw that out there. But
I
so
like
yeah,
what
tight end.
Ayush was saying though about the names though, because the name, there is a guy that we haven't talked about yet, but he's kind of got a crazy like name factor here.
Oh my gosh.
Who is this?
Is this Milo again?
It's not Milo.
again.
Who is this?
Who is? That looks like Milo.
It is
Why is he
Milo.
looking
What
at
the
me
hell?
like that? Yeah, it is Milo.
He's just passing by.
You got his hair done.
Oh my god. Okay. Tight end. Tight end, offensive tackle. Do they need an edge? You did bring in Latu. I think you could still use an edge. Defensive tackle looks.
You say
looks
offensive tackle
actually
or
really
offensive
good.
line?
I said OT. Oh well, I'd say actually.
Tanner Bortolini. That's a name
okay.
that could be good
Yeah.
though.
He's okay. Okay, I'll put O line because you could replace. I don't know how Raymond played last year, but you could replace Goncalves. Yeah. So, linebacker, you could replace Jalen Carlisle's. I liked Carlisle's coming out of school though. I just don't like him as a linebacker though. I think he should be a jumbo box safety. Bring in Travarius Ward, Kenny Moore. I like the idea of giving Jalen Jones a shot here. And you got Juju Brents there too, another second-round pick from recent memory. So I'm okay with corner. Cam Bynum's there too. I'm okay with this DB room. Maybe you could bring in another safety, but linebacker, I'd bring in another guy to pair with Zaire Franklin. See if you can move Carlisle back to safety. And then an edge rusher, I'd say.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did I talk about wide receivers? Do they need a receiver? No, they don't need a receiver. They just don't have a dude.
I can't get over how many starters they lost on the line. I mean, the Vikings took all their guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you lose Fries, and then you lost. I can't remember his name. Okay, so yeah, you're set here. Offensive line, and I'd say edge, or do we want edge or linebacker? Edge. Okay.
Edge.
All right. Yeah. Because actually, yeah, you need because Latu, he'll get there, but actually had a good year last year, but he'll become a dude at some point. He'll be a 10+ sack type guy. But you need another guy, in my opinion, that's going to be a 10+ type of guy. Look for that in the draft, maybe. Okay, so let's move on to the Jags. T-Law, obviously QB1. Running back room, I don't know if there's much that you can do there because I think it is just what it is. Tight end is a thing. I'll mark down tight end here.
Yeah, I'll say that. I agree with that.
Because I think they brought in Britton Strange to be a pure Y, a regular tight end. But
You want your Evan Ingram type of tight end guy that can.
No, I think you just need to upgrade still.
Classes.
I think you just need to upgrade. I don't think they need an F, which is what Evan Ingram was. But you need a wide receiver. You need a receiver.
That's what I was going to bring up. Opposite
hang on.
Brian Thomas, right?
Yeah, you got Brian, and then you got two guys that should be threes: Gabe Davis and Diami Brown. I'm gonna put wide receiver.
Definitely.
What are we looking at O-line wise? Needed O-line. Yeah, jeez.
I think they need
This
O-line.
team, they
To
really
save.
just clean slated this team, honestly.
Clean slate.
You got Jordan
They've
Lewis
got
at
an owner
corner.
who's they got an owner
Well,
who's
that's
too
not
focused on
terrible,
wrestling.
honestly.
They bled out a lot of
Like-
the older aspects of this team.
That
And
is very
I
true.
like that. Honestly, looking at this team, I like it, but it is messy. It's a messy team, and there's gonna be a lot of holes to fill in. And I think what they're gonna do is they're at the end of the day, I think they're gonna be just as old as they were last year, but they're doing it differently. They're bleeding out the expensive ones, and I think they're gonna look into the free agency cycle after the draft. So
Mhm.
so let's put O-line, wide receiver, and tight end maybe.
Corner.
You
Oh,
got
yeah,
Jerry and Jones.
corner.
Campbell's good. Lewis is old though. Yeah, let's put corner. Actually, what would we put that over there? Wide receiver. I think
put
wide
over
receiver and
O-line,
corner in like the
maybe.
same spot. Over O-line, I don't know, man. Walker Little's all right. I think you should try and replace Ezra Cleveland. Hainsey's all right. Makari is all right. Anton Harrison, I'd say try and replace him, but he's all right. I think I feel like I think wide receiver, offensive line, and corner are all in a position where it's kind of like pick whoever is best available at those positions. But what would we say for the sake of this argument? I personally think O line is more important, or I personally think tight end, receiver, and O line
I agree.
are more of a need. Okay,
I mean, Diami Brown's your wide receiver too.
yeah, and he had a good end of the season last year. You also have Gabe Davis in there.
Rick Gabe Davis.
All right, so let's move on to the Titans.
Titans QB. I mean, it already looks like they're going to take.
QB. Yep.
Cam
All right,
Ward.
so QB
Nah, they got
is
Tim Boyle, bro. They got Tim Boyle.
Bruh.
yeah. No, don't never
Child,
fear.
please.
Tim Boyle's here.
Child, please.
I mean,
Wide
it's
receiver.
got to be wide receiver in here.
Wide
Yeah.
receiver. This is an ugly receiver room. That's one of the ugliest receiver rooms I've ever looked at in my life. Get your $82 million left tackle. You got your first round left guard. Lloyd Cushenberry, who you overpaid for. Kevin Zeitler, who you overpaid for. The O line is set. Tight ends, I think, is a thing. I'll back pocket that. The defensive line is kind of nice, not gonna lie, and you added to it as well. What about this edge room? Let's see.
They got no linebackers.
Yeah, there's no linebackers.
They
Cody
should not
Barton's
have made-
actually all
They
right.
should not have made that Snead trade
Hang on.
last year.
Hang on, Cody Barton's okay. Cedric Gray is okay. So I don't think. I think Otis Reese is actually better than he gets credit for.
Arden Key, I like Arden Key.
Arden Key. Do you need an edge rusher?
Yeah.
Need an edge rusher.
The entire defense, I feel like, is just kind of.
The interior defensive line is hot, dude, but it's a little messy after that.
Yeah.
So, I guess
Sebastian
pick your
Joseph-
poison
isn't
here. Do we
Sebastian
want a
Joseph
linebacker?
really old now?
Yeah, I don't think you need to replace him
I
though,
say linebacker.
because he's interior though.
Yeah.
So here's what I would incorporate here. They needed edge, they need a linebacker, maybe need a safety. As a luxury pick, you could use a corner, but I don't think they're in any situation there. They're picking first overall for a reason. So, but between those linebacker, safety, and edge rusher is the most important defensive position in football. So, me personally, I'm going edge because of positional value as the third year. Do you guys concur?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with
Okay,
that. Yeah.
I'm gonna put edge. All right, now we can move on to another division here. What are we doing here?
Bills.
Yeah, East. All right. So Buffalo Bills.
I'll say it.
Write this down.
Possibly wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Yeah, but you just paid. You drafted Keon Coleman. You just paid Shakir. You
That's
just
true.
paid Palmer. You paid Samuel last year. I don't know. I don't know if that's. I think they think their receiver room's better than it
If
actually
they have
is.
if they have any need on the offense, it would be that. But I see what you're saying that it's not the biggest on the team, but that would be
Yeah.
the biggest on offense.
I mean, that offensive line needs work. Your left tackle's okay. Your right guard's okay. Actually, your left tackle's really good. Your center, yeah,
I don't know. I
I'd
don't
say
hate that.
interior offensive line.
Okay.
And what happened? What ruined? What ended their season last year? Pressure straight up the middle.
No, it
It's
was
true.
when
Interior
he dropped
offensive
the
line.
pass. What's his name?
Kincaid
Kincaid.
dropped a.
Kincaid, yeah.
So I'm gonna put a line.
Also, considering like everybody on
I'll
the
say
defense
guard,
somehow
or
got a $20
IOL.
million a year extension, I don't know what's a hole anymore. Like they're giving scrubs $80 million extensions now.
They pay big time. Like we were talking about the Christian Benford one earlier.
we
like
were
that's
what?
I've heard it. I've started now that I think of it. I've heard his name a little bit more than
Well,
I
I
thought.
like the guy, but like 80
76 million
million is a lot of
over.
money.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of money. So you're clearly not looking to replace him. I think you could replace Dane Jackson, who they just brought in. You need to upgrade there. I think you need a DB. I'd say DB.
Yeah.
You invested a lot
We need
into your defensive line. You brought in Hoyt. You brought in Ogunjobi. You brought in Joey Bosa. You re-signed Greg Russo. Yeah, and you've done a lot of work on bringing in guys on that defensive line through the draft. Linebacker's fine. Actually, it's pretty good. I think DB, me personally. Okay. So we have
That's
interior
I
offensive
agree.
line. We have DB. Should I just put corner and safety? Because I think you could use a
I don't
boundary
hate
corner. Okay, yeah, I'll say BCB and just safety. Otherwise, this team's looks pretty good on paper, which is kind of crazy because they had to do a big bleed out last offseason.
That is very true.
So, Dolphins. I think one of the most important things here is continuing to keep Tua upright. So offensive line is going to be one here. I feel like that's a non-negotiable. All right, so Miami. I'm just going to put O-line because I don't think there's a position. Yeah. Probably, actually, honestly, offensive tackle is probably more important. Running back's good. Obviously, you got Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. You bring in Nick Westbrook-Akine. You have Malik. Well, I think your receiver room's good. Tight end. Do we want to upgrade from Jonnu Smith? Maybe that's an
Maybe.
option.
It's an
Let's
option.
back pocket that. Let's back pocket that. This defensive line has no one. They just need bodies on this defense. Holy moly! Because you have Sealer, you have Benito Jones, you have Matt Dickerson, you have Neil Farrell. You have a ton of edge rushers.
Yeah,
I think you need DT really bad.
Yeah.
I think that this team has been avoiding the trenches for the last like 6 years.
Oh, 100%.
Other
And
than-
that's what
other
we're
than
the
Mr.
first
Wilkins.
the first two things that come out of our mouths here are offensive tackle and defensive tackle. That's
Yeah.
it. This
It's
team
like,
needs.
like It's been years, guys.
Yeah. And so yeah, this edge rush room looks
They need
really
corner.
nice. Let's see corner. Storm Duck, Jalen Ramsey, Cater yeah, Artie Burns. Yeah, they just all they did was they just got as many guys with a cool name as they could. And they put them in the Stevens backfield. Duck, Ramsey,
They trying to take my whole
Burns,
theory,
Melifonwu.
bro.
What about names?
Chop Robinson.
Like with tight ends?
Yeah.
Oh, Chop Robinson?
Yeah.
Muhammad? Dude, yeah, this is a crazy name, dude. Chubb? Okay, so corner. All right.
Milo back up.
Dude, they could use Milo on this defense. All right. Patriots.
They got wide receiver 1 by getting Diggs.
I'm kind of
yeah,
you Patriots, man.
Yeah, they did overpay a little bit for Diggs, in my opinion. What would he get? 19 million. I think it was still
1 year deal.
No, it wasn't.
It's basically a 1 year deal.
Oh, the opt out. You're talking about the opt out at the end of it. Okay.
It was very inflated.
Yeah, I think wide receiver set. Actually, no, it's not. No, it's not. You need a 2.
Mac Hollins, bro.
I think you still try to get a guy.
Yeah, because I know you spent a 2nd and a 3rd round pick on Polk and Baker, but this is a new regime.
It's
so they don't give a crap.
Or 6th on the depth chart, and they're letting you wear number 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Steelers don't let anyone wear number 1. No one's allowed to wear it. And the Patriots just give it away like it's nothing.
Jalen Tolbert, bro.
Yeah.
Number 1.
We're not gonna talk about what Jalen Tolbert.
Number wide receiver number 4 on the field, number 1 in my heart.
Always be known for beating the Steelers.
Sir.
Yeah, we're not talking about it.
Okay, they need O-line. This team needs O-line really bad. We're putting O-line.
Cole Strange. The guy's good, guys. He's a 1st round pick.
So running back is on the table.
Right? Cole Strange actually isn't.
He's okay. Yeah, he's okay. He's one of the few bright spots on that O-line.
Yeah.
Morgan Moses. When did that happen?
Yeah,
who's their left?
The
tackle?
right side of the.
They need a left tackle.
Yeah, you need a left tackle. That's why you're sitting there considering Will Campbell at 4, or potentially trade back a couple picks. It would make sense to me if they traded back to like 7 or something, and tried to go get Will Campbell. Okay.
Joe Milton to the Steelers.
So we've talked about that on this podcast, actually. Milton Williams at defensive tackle, Christian Barmore at defensive tackle. This defensive tackle room looks good. Tonga. Edge rusher room. Anthony Jennings, Harold Landry, I think that you need an edge rusher. What else do we got here? Corners look good.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive backfield looks good. I'd say edge. Going once, going twice, sold. Edge. Yep. All right. Next, is that new division now? Nope, Jets. All right. So, I guess you got your quarterback. I guess. Dude, now you need a receiver.
Nah, Jordan Travis is starting for them, bro.
This dude's never gonna quit that. Dude, they got the same exact type of quarterback all the way down the depth chart. Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, Jordan Travis, Adrian Martinez, literally all the same type of player. Just it's getting they're getting slightly worse as you go down. Okay, I think you need a receiver because you lose. Obviously, you lose Devontae, but It's
They never really
not
had Devontae, at least.
yeah. But you got Garrett, and then it's Reynolds is a 3 in my opinion. Lazard is a 3 in my opinion. Corley didn't pan out so well. He's a
Do y'all
3.
really think Lazard is there next year?
Yeah, I think so. That's one of his best chances at being a starter is with the Jets right now. So, if he wants to play time, unless he got traded to the freaking Titans. Okay, so you get left tackle. Okay, so this O line's actually pretty solid. I think you could use a right tackle though. Oh no, you have Okorafor.
They have Chucks.
Man, they got Josh Myers too. So they actually have an okay offensive line here for first time in a while. Feels like.
Josh Myers isn't that great.
Yeah, compared to what they've had, it's all right. All right. Let's look at defensive line here. Derek Noddy, next to Quentin Williams. Will McDonald finally had a good year. Jermaine
McDonald is
Johnson.
nice. I like that guy.
Yeah. Jermaine Johnson. You don't have a lot of depth at edge. That's important to note. There's very little depth on this defensive line, but you have a decent starting group here. Linebackers look good. Sherwood, Quincy Williams, actually really good linebacker room there. Sauce Gardner, Michael Carter. You lost DJ Reader, or is it Reed or Reader? I don't know. Reed.
Reed.
I think you could use a corner. Corner and a defensive lineman, maybe?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I feel like this defense was so much better like a year ago.
It used to, yeah, not long ago. Remember with
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, there was one year where they were actually incredible,
Defense was
like
dynamite.
top three in the league. Okay. On to the Broncos. So last division here. We're about to pass the 2 hour mark as a record for us. This is in honor of 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
What the Broncos need, I think they're pretty set at receiver. They're set.
Oh,
Wait,
I don't
are
know
they?
about that, bro. I don't know about all that.
I mean,
Cortland Sutton.
yes,
and
they're old.
They're not old though.
But not.
Marvin
They're not young.
Mims, Vele, Troy Franklin are all first or second year guys. I think they
What, you
need a
think they should
one.
go?
I think they need like a Tet. Everyone needs a Tet McMillan.
Courtland's
But
not a 1 to you?
no, he's an average 2.
Which
Okay.
player is this?
Courtland Sutton.
I'll say he's a good
Portland's
two,
a,
not average
Portland's a
two.
1, bro.
That is
Thank you.
not true, bro.
Thank you, Alec. At least I have some
I
sanity
mean, he's
here.
not like the best 1 ever.
No,
He's
he's
a good
not.
two.
But he's not a poor
Dude,
man's 1 either.
he's
He's fine.
Nah, he is a poor man's 1. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna state. Okay, we're gonna fact check this too because. So you have a rookie of the year finalist last year in Bo Nix. You're the wide receiver 1. You get all the touches. You have 1,081 yards. That is wide receiver. That's good wide receiver 2 numbers right there. That was a career year for him.
It's fine. We don't need to go
That was a
there.
career year. So you need a dude. I mean, yeah, you need a dude. I think that you're in the Matthew Golden
Okay.
type
Yes.
of situation here. Maybe Luther Burden if he falls, but
I don't think he falls that far.
yeah. The media's been hating on him though. Media gets its information. The top level of the media gets its information from the NFL. It trickles down to the Twitter type portion of the media. And as of right now, Luther Burden's not a fan favorite.
What is causing them to not
I don't know.
like the guy? for
But
no reason?
hey, if they don't like him, they don't like him. If
I guess
Tet doesn't
not.
make it to Dallas, then I'm very happy with Luther Burden. Okay, offensive line, it's better than it was, but I think you could improve the interior. What'd you say?
I agree with that.
Okay, so interior, offensive line, wide receiver. I feel like they're happy with their tight ends. Not gonna lie.
I agree
Running
with that.
running back
Yeah.
is a thing. That is a big time thing here.
That is a thing. Yeah.
For
Let's
sure.
sweep through this defense though, because obviously they have a great defense and they added to it like exponentially better than it was, and it was already really good. Interior defensive line looks great. The edge rush room, Jonathan Cooper, Nick Benito, who was a defensive player of the year
Nick
type
Benito
of
was really
guy.
good.
He's really good. And then Jonah Ellis. I think they could use depth at edge, but that's a good Cooper and Benito is a formidable starting room. Linebackers look fantastic. You got Dre Greenlaw, you got Singleton, you got Drew Sanders behind them. Riley Moss and Pat Surtain. Jaquan McMillan at the nickel. I don't know about that. I think you could use a nickel.
Yeah, I feel like. Yeah, I agree. I feel like they could maybe get an upgrade from Riley Moss too. I don't know.
That's true.
How do you
Actually,
feel about
Riley would
Moss?
probably be good in the nickel. Not gonna lie. I like you could get a boundary and bump Riley to the nickel.
Exactly.
So, okay, but then that enters a new question here: which of running back, wide receiver, interior offensive line, and nickel do we want to kick out? I can't get behind having a second year quarterback and not continue to give them weapons. And then
Yeah.
I feel
That's
like
true.
Nickel's got to be the odd man out here.
Probably.
Because this defense has been really good in the past, and they didn't need an all-star nickel. So, all right, we're gonna take care. We're gonna leave it to that for the Broncos. The Chiefs, probably quarterback
Quarterback.
for sure.
Please.
Yo,
joking,
what could
right?
we? Is there a speed demon with some off the
Obviously
field
not.
problems that we could give him?
Yeah, Kyron Lacey.
I'm. Let me consider
Fine.
here.
Oh, Kyron Lacey.
But is Kyron fast enough though? Well, I guess Rashi Rice is like a
Wheels.
4.4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
could
you go.
definitely
Let's
see-
do this.
I
All
could
right.
definitely see the Chiefs going to get.
In our
Kyron
mock
Lacey.
draft on Monday, pick 31 is going to be Kyron Lacey.
No, dude, he's gonna.
No, he ain't a
steal
first
it,
rounder,
bro.
dude.
I don't
He's gonna be-
care. Dude, do you
He's
think
gonna be a
the
day two, day
Chiefs
three
care?
draft pick.
Do you think the Chiefs care? They're like, this is our guy.
That's true. They may not give a rat's behind.
Yeah.
32.
They
31.
have to go 3 for 3 here. So
3 straight
okay.
years, 3
So
straight receivers.
This offensive line
Tackle.
looks good.
Did he tackle?
I think you need a right tackle.
Probably.
Replace
Juwan Thomas.
Juwan.
Mr.
So I'm going to put
False
RT over anything because we can specify that on the mock. So interior defensive line, maybe behind Chris Jones.
They need another
Edge.
lineman, like to fill behind Trey Smith in case he leaves.
Fill behind who?
Trey Smith. Are we talking about the Chiefs?
Yeah,
Mhm.
gotcha.
Yeah, it was like
Would you go after a possible, like, with the possibility of Travis Kelce retiring? Would you go tight end?
Dude,
I think that's what they did last year with Jared Wiley.
I love Jared Wiley, man. I love Jared Wiley. Like I think he can be a Pro Bowl tight end.
Good
And
enough.
When-
he
were they
can be in the
debating
same.
Zappy?
can play the same not to the same caliber, but I think to the same type of skill set that Travis Kelsey plays with. That same type of player, a lot of the same type of strengths for Wiley, just to a watered down magnitude. Linebacker is good. Corner is I think you could use another corner maybe. Hicks, Cook. I'd say an edge, honestly, an edge and maybe a corner. Right tackle, edge, corner.
Right tackle, edge, corner sounds just fine to me.
I like that.
I agree.
Oh my gosh, 2 left, guys. We're so close.
All right, now on to the Raiders.
Running
Oh
back.
my gosh, this wide receiver depth chart, guys.
Wide receiver.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, maybe they'll get
Raymond
Henry
Payton,
Ruggs back in like
Trey
a year, though.
Tucker, and Jacoby Myers.
Are they going to bring that man back out of jail? I
Yeah.
doubt it.
Okay, so wide receiver, running back, those are the given.
Oh, Gino
needs.
is cooked, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he. Okay,
Sorry,
they
Gino.
like so DJ Glaze. They like him a lot.
Stop glazing.
Jackson Powers Johnson, love that. Colton Miller's good. I think you could use a guard, and you need a little bit more depth on this O line. You could use a
Look
guard.
Wow, they got a lot of running backs.
Okay.
This is
I
terrible.
didn't know Isaiah Spiller was here.
They got okay. The defense though is fine. We like Max. We like Christian. We like Malcolm Kuntz. We like Devin White is whatever. We like
Devin White's
Landon
trashed.
Roberts can ball. Jack Jones is cold. Jeremy Chin is cold. Isaiah Palomaro is cold. I don't know the rest of these guys. This guy's wearing number 0, so he's got to be good. It's got to be all offense.
The corner's all right. The corner room is good. I think they need not to mention you have Tyree Wilson there that they're gonna go all in on his development this year because they need him to hit. I think you need a linebacker defensively. Devin White sucks,
Landon's
dude.
good.
Devin White is not
Devin
good.
White, yeah, but Landon's
Landon's okay, but you need another guy
we should have kept
alongside.
Landon.
Devin White sucks.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Dang, he's falling off the face of the earth that bad?
Yeah.
He fell off that bad.
He fell
And
off
he
a
failed
cliff.
with dude. If you fail with the Eagles, then you failed.
Yeah, you failed.
So they know how to fix these types of players. So I think we're between running back, receiver. Those are givens. Do you guys think linebacker or offensive guard is more of a need?
Guard.
Guard.
Especially considering Gino is your guy. He
Okay.
has no one to throw to,
I was
and
gonna say
there's no
linebacker.
running back to.
I personally think linebacker.
Nah.
Because Landon's good, but you don't have another guy. You don't have a 2. At least
Unless
on
Eichenberger
guard,
shows up or something.
Kappa and Dillon Parham are okay guys to start.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm just gonna go linebacker because me and you started the podcast, so suck it.
Fine by me. I'm getting my
Okay.
lunch steak here.
Now we got
The final team, right? Oh, no, we still got
the Chargers, right?
Okay, Chargers.
I think that's it. Yeah. Chargers. So no, dude, you got
Like
Quentin
an
Johnston,
expansion
man.
team or something.
Quentin drops. a
Quentin
lot,
Johnson, the goat, the goat.
Did he finally figure it out? Did he finally figure out how to catch a football?
Hey, he was
I
good.
don't think
He was good
I don't
last
think
year.
Harbaugh cares. He still had a lot of drops last year, but I don't think Harbaugh cares honestly, because he's such a run-centric guy. Do they go
They
get a
go
running
after-
back?
Yeah, would they go after another running back? That was one of my questions. Like, oh my gosh.
It's the last team.
Uh,
we had to bring it back for the last team.
The O line, dude. This O line is actually kind of hot, man. And you got some depth too. So this
Yeah,
O
Joe
line
Alt.
is really good. You need a tight end. You need a tight end, and that's why typically Colson
aura.
Loveland gets mocked there, in addition to Harbaugh. Let's back pocket running back and receiver.
Najee's
and
gonna be good.
I don't think Harbaugh cares. It's Harbaugh. He likes multi.
Just give him 10 mil.
Like his
backfield.
running,
Keep
like his
playing.
running backs.
Okay. You did lose Bosa. So
That's
we
true.
got your
Edge.
Tui Tablo. I don't remember how to say his name. And you got Khalil Mack, Bud Dupree. I think you could use an edge rusher. The interior defensive line's all right. You could cornerback room kind of sucks. Linebacker room's kind of nice. Linebacker room's really nice, actually. I think you could use a defensive lineman in a corner, along with the tight end.
Yeah, I agree. I would say I might say running back over the D line, but
All right, I'll let Alec and Pierce. What do you got? Linebacker or running back or D line?
The Chargers D line. You're down Bosa. You got an aging Khalil Mack. I definitely see them going.
Yeah,
defensive line.
the aging part is kind of important there too.
When
Yeah,
you
just
prioritize a free agent like Najee, obviously it's more about filling a floor than anything else. Like I wouldn't say it's a need, but you definitely might want to upgrade, but it's not a need, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
a
that's
need
valid.
just
That's
yet.
valid. You set a floor there, yeah. And not to mention, this is going to be the best offensive line that he's ever played behind. That offensive line is nice, dude.
It's
And
true.
you got
Offensive line was
Slater,
good last
Becton,
year.
and Alt, and Zion Johnson. Hopefully takes a jump. Bozeman's all right. That's a really good O line. You just run right behind Becton and Alt every time. So all right, I think that's gonna do it. Wow, holy moly, what a
That took us a minute.
We low-key should have split that
Yeah.
between AFC and NFC. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. The problem was we had the kind of the extra episode, so it's kind of more of a luxury
Yeah,
move here. But
True.
all right, well, that's 2 hours, actually 2 hours and 15 minutes of team needs for you guys. There's a use dancing for you. You got Milo Eifler
thank you, Milo, for joining
live
us today
on the
2-year
exactly.
birthday.
for like
And
an
it was pretty
hour
cool
of
to
that.
see. Yeah, and he gave us some good takes. He helped us tie break on some of these. So yeah. All right. So hopefully on Monday we're going to be back with our mock draft Monday. We're going to have the regular four: me, Ayush, Pierce, and Mark, and then we're hopefully going to have at least one guest. Alec, I know you said that your schedule's busy, but if you're
Monday
able
nights are
to,
a no-go for me.
well, if something changes, and we would love to have you on, but no worries if not.
Here's the deal.
Anyways,
I can do one pick. I'll be whatever team you want, and I'll trade my first round pick for Milo. And then I'm
Yeah.
out.
he's gonna have the Titans. Just
The Titans do
trade
it?
him.
Hey.
Yeah, Titans do it. Who has
a
who has
first
Milo
overall
right
pick.
now?
He's looking it up right now as we speak. Let's go.
Yeah.
I forgot.
It was
It's
an
not the
AFC team.
Commanders anymore.
No, it was an NFC
It's
team.
the
It
Cardinals.
was
Cardinals.
early.
Yeah, it was the Cardinals.
It's-
So the Cardinals are going to
Oh, yeah.
replace Kyler Murray
It's
with Cam Ward.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. We're
Cam Ward is replacing my life.
there you go. All right. Well, yeah. Well, that'll do it till Monday. Thanks again for everyone for listening. I've mentioned it a couple times, but our listenership and viewership is at an all-time high as of late. So we really appreciate you guys for that. We're trying to grow. I think we're going to figure out how we can continue to grow our YouTube channel, because our YouTube has 3 subscribers right now, and we discovered the 3 subscribers are me, Pierce, and Pierce's dad if I'm
Possibly,
not mistaken.
possibly.
Possibly. It's a mystery person, but we think that mystery person is his dad. So we're not doing too great on the amount of subscribers and viewers we're getting on YouTube. So we'll figure out how to grow that. But
What is it even called? I'm looking at it right now.
dude, it's so hidden. It's so hidden in the algorithm. It's the War Room Football or War Room Football. So
Okay, I did War Room NFL.
yeah, and even still, you'll have a hard time
Yeah.
finding it.
You guys are gonna link that on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so thank you guys for listening. If you guys can like, share, or whatever the typical run of the mill thing that all the YouTubers say, was it like, share, subscribe? That would be great. And we will see you guys on Monday. Yippee!
All right.
That was